right, guys, so we just watched episode 5 of The Defenders. And I don't know. I think we were on a rising path, and I think we slumped down a little bit. Yes, we did pick up right where we left off inside a big fight scene. We did not have Elektra run away like I thought was going to happen. But we also didn't pick up right when the fight scene started. We picked up a little bit inside the fight scene already.
It was cool.
I don't know if I like that.
So. Okay.
Because that's like the soap opera thing where I'm like, someone just said something, and then you ignored it. Like, they just picked up right after it. I want to know exactly what happened
Sure. Like, she was on the ground having been hit by a car, right? And, like, then we cut, and they're all, like, squaring off, right? And then it, like...
Just in time for, like, Mr. Zangbao to jump through the
So the dude, so, like, they follow that dude, and they have him jumping down through, like, the roof or whatever. Yep. I like that a lot, but, yeah, missing how, how the squaring off leads into the actual fighting. Because, like, Square Weaver was, like, right there, and then once it picks up, she's, like, in, like, the peripheries and all that shit. And I'm like, wait. Like, there weren't that many people yet. Like, how did that happen? So, whatever.
Not sure.
But, yeah, so that was just, like, Episode 4 had this cliffhanger-y kind of ending of, like, there's going to be a fight. Episode 5 was, like, there's a fight. And then it was, like, Episode 1 of some other show. Yeah,
it just petered out for me.
I think
I liked a couple of things, though. I liked when Gal got punched in the face by Jessica Jones. I was like,
right. So in that original fight scene,
Jessica Jones has no reason to believe Gao is anything but an old woman, and she punched her right in the face.
She went flying like you had her on strings and tugged on them or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Like you flicked a bug off your collar, like, goodbye.
I dig that.
What are there, any other funny moments or great things?
During that fight, I wanted to call out, so, like, Stick's blind, he has one sword in one hand, and he's doing the Zatoichi backhand, like, blind swordsman technique, and I was like, oh, that's cute. That's a cute way of doing that.
It was working. That sword was covered in blood.
He's highly effective. And he does the whole, like, back to back, we're stronger as a unit, we gotta fight together. And Daredevil's like, peace out, motherfuckers, and leaves to go try to talk to Elektra.
It looked like it might have worked, too,
it
had he not got distracted.
Yeah.
He wrestled away her sword.
Had they not been interrupted,
kicking
I
out
feel
her
like
legs
they would have been
and
all right.
whispering sweet nothings in her ear.
You know, as you do.
As you do.
It's like, it's not first date, it's like third date material, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but she clearly,
and like fifth date.
And like in like his defense, like, cause that was like bad, and they call it out later, like, you risked our lives for this bullshit or whatever. But if he hadn't have prodded her a second time, right? That, like her unraveling of her brainwashing or whatever the pot does to you. The pot, when you're in the pot, it's like the pot.
The pot rots your brain.
That's what I hear. So whatever, like, he prodded her again, and, like, she had more of that, like, wait, what the fuck's going on thing. So she might not have gotten to where she's at now, where she's now pieced out.
No, exactly. But, and even still, you risked our lives. There's 6 things that can really hurt you in this game. It's the 5 fingers of the hand, and it is Elektra.
Right.
He took Elektra out of the game. Elektra, arguably, like, the most powerful one.
That was what they were really afraid of.
He took her on one-on-one. And, like, kind of diffuse the situation there. And he had a finger out there, too. So, really, I think he did more than his job. I think they don't know they did that, but he did.
No, and it seems like everything's tightening up, and they're going to find Elektra, or they're going to meet up with her back and forth or whatever. Yeah. And it's going to be okay. It wasn't the most egregious case of, like, the false outrage, but they were kind of like, that fight went to shit. I got escorted across town by a fucking truck. He's this, whatever, this, all these bad things happen.
No, yeah, bad things happen.
We didn't fight as a unit.
But there's 5 bad guys, 5 good guys. He took out 2 of the bad guys himself. I think it was a net plus. I think they should,
I dig
just relax.
I think history will look back on his actions favorably because she's obviously snapping out of it or snapping into it or whatever, and it's becoming like a thing.
She's coming back to her.
Which seems quick because I don't know. I guess she was an unstoppable killing machine. But I don't know what's going to happen if she, completely switches over or whatever the fuck. Maybe Sigourney Weaver jumping into her. Is that even going to happen?
I don't know. We might just be calling things that might not happen.
Maybe Sigourney Weaver switching bodies into her is going to try to override her, but she'll still be in there too, and they'll be fighting in her mind.
It's possible.
I have no idea.
Yeah. These Shunlin bitches.
Hey, there's a lot of Kunlun talk. There's a lot of all that shit.
Yeah, I keep calling it Shunlin.
Shaolin, Kunlun. Well, like the one, so like, okay, the South American guy was...
Oh, man, that was actually pretty awesome. Because for whatever reason, didn't even picture him as a possible outcome.
Well, okay.
And then it was like, oh, that's so obvious that he should be one.
Bakudo.
And it makes... Yeah, Bakudo. And it makes everything that happened in the last,
Thank God, too, right? Because the whole time you're like, who the fuck is this fucking sweater dude? but then he was a badass. It turned out, and he was like high up in the hand, and like he died, but he was obviously like not dead or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And now for him to be alive is like, oh, okay, it makes perfect sense.
No, it's pretty great.
And I like the 5 different regions and the fucking like it's like the evil UN or something like that.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool. And they have and each have their like niches and differences
The
and
United
stuff.
Evil Nations.
The United Nations of Evil. But no, I dig it.
But for so much cool happening in like a beginning bit of this, it kind of was like.
So this had the elements. So I think what they did in like their planning was they had 2 4-episode blocks with their own like arcs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because this episode sets up a lot. Everyone knows about Elektra now on like both sides. You've like killed one of the 5 fingers and all that stuff. All of like the plus
beautifully,
ones.
by the way.
Yeah.
Stick just chopping heads.
Yeah, because he like gets a. But all of like the plus ones and the others and all the other people are now all at the police station together for some shit to happen and all that stuff, right?
And like you people at home probably think the same thing. Are they even safe anywhere?
No.
Does it matter they're in the police station? Aside from the fact that the hand has like money, power, and craziness, they could probably just be like, hey, you, go kill everybody there or blow up the station or just walk in. They're fucking killing machines. Guns don't stop them.
No, they're fucking ridiculous, like trans-dimensional ninjas or something. It's not like you're gonna like the lights are gonna go out at the police station. Some shit's gonna get weird. So it's like something's gonna happen, right? They don't give a fuck about cops or anything like that, right?
It'll be like in Jeepers Creepers when they're in the police station and the monster guy comes in and just rapes the whole world.
I forget that in the first one.
I think it was the first one. The second one was in a bus.
Oh, the second one was a whole crazy thing.
Yeah,
the first one where he's like limping in like the trench coat and he needs parts to like put himself back together. Oh, Jeepers Creepers highly underrated. Side note. No, yeah, it's gonna be this crazy fucking thing. Something bad will happen to them all because they can't just stay there for the rest of the season. No. So either something, shit's gonna go down. They're all gonna have to leave, or they're all gonna have to come back, or whatever the fuck.
Something.
Like, they're playing to Pompeii, New York. Why would they care about one shitty police station in Hell's Kitchen or something like that?
They wouldn't.
They would not! And these people own, like, crazy high buildings and all that stuff. I don't know why they're not,
So it's the cover story is the things like Chernobyl and Pompeii. But do you think the reason these things explode is it like the backlash release of energy while doing some like super evil thing that happens every once in a while?
Okay.
Because it's not like they're just like, we're going to kill New York. Like just like maniacal genius thing.
Right.
They get nothing from that. They're like literally like business heads and stuff. They don't... Destroying New York is not in their benefit, but I think it's just a byproduct of something that has to happen.
Blow up the moon. Yeah, no, there's some sort of ritual. They talked about a substance. Maybe this is how they get more of that substance that they can use to extend their lives or whatever.
Or sacrificing all those lives, like, does something.
Oh, that's how they get the substance? It's like each drop is like thousands of human souls or whatever the fuck.
I don't know.
No, yeah, something obviously happens, and maybe... So I don't know. The only part that I don't understand is, did they discover the thing under New York, or is that like Kunlun where it's moving around all the time, and they have to randomly find it and catch up to it and like excavate it and get it or whatever? Because clearly there's something going on. But I dig that. I want to see this fucking door. I want to see what the hell happens.
Yeah.
And how Danny's involved with that. I feel like it's not going that way. I'm shocked Stick is still alive.
Stick can't be alive for much longer.
Just to run down
he's now
things.
Taking the lives of one of the thumbs.
Yeah.
The thumbs.
He cut that thumb right off.
So they better be coming for him hard.
Yeah, right? I at this point, he can't live through this season, right? I like him a lot, but I feel like he can't. If only because him not having a hand is like so goofy.
And his ears are so
just like
big.
Logistically. He has large ears with connected lobes that seem to connect at some point down here on his chin.
They're like this big.
He's like Dumbo.
If you look at him and Danny Rand side by side, you're like, Danny's ears this big, his ears this big.
Could fit his whole head inside of his ears.
It's a travesty. What else happens in this episode? So Elektra goes rogue. Yeah,
she splits up. Well, so it ends with her like walking around Matt's apartment and eventually cozying up in his bed. And I think we are meant to walk around for like a week and think like, holy shit, she's like remembering. What is this gonna mean? What is this gonna do? And all that stuff. I'm like now even more worried and concerned because he was like, she doesn't have a heartbeat. Like she's not really her, even if she remembers being her, right?
Well, she's like if we think
her,
back
right?
to Iron Fist, she's like the father. Who, like, couldn't be killed. He popped out of the pot.
Oh, like Nobu or whatever.
I don't know who Nobu is.
There was a dude that I don't know.
The father. They drowned him, they stabbed him, they this and that at him. And
from the story. Yeah. Right? where they tell the story from back in the day?
Well, that was also
the
the actual dad of the two people that weren't.
Oh, I have no idea.
Do you not remember Iron Fist at all?
No, I hated Iron Fist.
So Iron Fist, you had Danny Rand, and you had two other people, a brother and a sister, who were running the company. And the father of the guy was dead, but they didn't tell the daughter. He had a thing where he was like back from the dead, but he wasn't alive.
Well, yeah. So he had no. Okay, that. I thought you meant like some Asian ninja father. You should have just been like the businessman who shoots Danny at the end or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, whatever.
Like the main character of the show. Yeah, he didn't have his memories or whatever when he first came back, but that was like because he barely was alive. He was all fucked up and all that stuff, and like the plan was for him to get his shit back
like
here.
That.
Yeah, but they're
different
acting
magic, same type of animal.
Yeah, but they're acting like she is not supposed to get her things back. He says like,
well, they didn't.
She is not the empty vessel that was probably.
They just left that part out. Like, all right, just Control, Delete, and reboot.
I know, and that's presumably what happened with him, where he just came back on his own and didn't have that or whatever. But that means I don't know. They should know that. That's really weird.
I don't know, but we're gonna find out.
We are gonna find out.
Got any more tidbits, a juicy little.
You see Daredevil in the suit for the first time.
Yes. And I've been missing that because he's so much cooler in the suit than he is just like a dude.
I know, and like looking at the suit, it made me go like, this suit does look pretty cool. I'm shocked at how cool they got this suit to look. I don't love the shiny eyes, but I like the suit in general.
I think the shiny eyes work.
It should be so ridiculous, but the suit like works. It's like motorcycle padding kind of, but like good angles on stuff. He doesn't look ridiculous. It's not really like he's not some built crazy huge guy, right? But he looks really intimidating in the suit. It really works for him. I'm a big fan. During that fight, we got to see some awesome stuff with Jessica Jones fighting Kimachurumon, the other Japanese dude.
You know, the Digimon that's in
Kikuman soy sauce guy, because he's
the
doing
guy from Africa.
No, the Japanese dude.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
He's in there. He's fighting, and he's doing... So, like, Jessica Jones, as she mentioned before, does not know karate. So she's just trying to fucking punch him in the face. And he keeps, like, kicking and dodging and doing all of his stuff, and she's all frustrated. But then Daredevil shows up, ding, does all the stuff. And then they're fighting, like they're fighting him together and all that stuff. I was just like, oh, shit.
I think it's cool that you live... There's this world that they've created, that there are these, like, super beings... And then you have these just like ancient ones who are trained and polished and whatever. Yeah. But because it roughly evens out where it's like, nah, like 30-year-old girl who's super strong, yeah, she could probably take a karate master. All right, guy who's bulletproof, yeah, he'll probably beat that swordsman. Like all that cool jazz. I love it.
I've been saying this for like so I said it a long time, while we were watching these shows. I loved Luke Cage's fighting style. I compare it to it's like Thanksgiving and the kid's uncle was like playing like football with them and or like wrestling and just like pushes behind their neck and just like pushes them down. They're like, we're fighting, we're wrestling. It's like, yeah. Because he would, but to like full grown men, because he's a huge guy anyway, but he's indestructible. So when some thug, comes at him with a knife, he just like, and just pushes their face out of the way, and they can't do anything. It's this awesome thing. Yeah, I love that. I've been wanting for years, because everything. I remember watching, what's the thing with Dr. Manhattan?
Come on, you can do it. Come on.
Smiley face.
Well,
now I know it's Watchmen. Yeah.
I thought I could tease you into it.
One letter's all I ever need.
Yeah.
In that movie, because it was all Zack Snyder, everyone knew fucking Kung Fu. There's a part where,
And they all had superpowers, even though they didn't.
Even if they're supposed to be like exceptional people, there's a part where Rorschach
he hooks his two fingers.
All right,
and fucking
have we talked about
down.
this? Because I've
hated
that forever. He like jumps and then like slows down before his hand touches it, and then like gingerly like uses the hand maneuver. And I'm like, I guess you think that looks cool, but that's so wrong for this. He's supposed to just be like grabbing people and like killing them and stuff. And that like the Watchmen's where I thought that I was finally gonna get like superheroes who just like punch and are really into it, and Daredevil was the fucking dream because he's just but he also has ninja stuff, right? So but he's also just like wailing on people. And now Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are filling in even more of that, where like they don't do parkour and shit. They just fucking burst through the wall and say, I found this big pipe, and just like take you down and stuff.
It's certainly the good stuff. We have a lot of that going on now, and I think it's only going to ramp up harder as we get into the bigger and badder fight scenes coming up. Yeah. I personally love if you go right to the beginning when you first have Luke Cage meet Iron Fist, There's that scene where they both know that they're powerful.
Great.
But it's my favorite thing is, like, in a movie, when you have, like, a bad guy, and this happened to me 2 good guys, but you have a bad guy who's like, I've been stalking you, I've got you, you're mine, and doesn't realize he's not the most badass dude in the room, and all of a sudden, and that's what that was. When Iron Fist first attacks Luke Cage, he's like, oh God!
Totally.
What are you?
I'm glad you came back to that, because after we recorded that one, I was like, we didn't talk about that, but while we were watching it, we talked about it, and fucking that look of like confusion, because usually that only happens like a mugger looks confused and then like looks up and the guy's like looking down like, hey, and like fucking takes him out or whatever.
Yeah.
But when they're both like he has every reason to believe no one can withstand his like 1-2 punch maneuver, and he just does it, and it's like punching. Not even a wall, because the wall would break, right? And he's just hitting this dude. He's just standing there like, kid, get the fuck out of my way. You're like, what the fuck? And that's great, because in this world, too, like, in our world, there's all these comics and movies and things, and you would go, oh, what is he, like a Batman type, or is he like a Thor type? Like, what is he? And in this world, they only know of the very few superheroes that have actually, become public, and there's no trading cards or like stats or whatever the fuck. You're just like, holy shit, he makes no sense. That's amazing. So if you punch a dude and like nothing happens, you're like, you have to think very quickly. Wait, how is this happening? Is it a force?
Punch him again?
Yeah, like, is it a force field? Is he made of like iron? Is he actually like stone? Is this a thing? Is he like a cyborg? Like, I have no idea what I'm dealing with at all, because you don't know who the fuck he is. Oh, it's terrifying, right?
Yeah, no, it's great.
If you were the boss, and then you're like, wait, nothing's happening.
I feel like you can see a little bit of that on these, like, Kung Lung, like, fucking fancy boys. They're like, all right, we'll just, okay.
No, I don't think any of them have ever, like, they've trained for hundreds of years, and some dude just grabs their face like a basketball and throws them through the wall,
never.
And they're like, what the fuck? Like,
maybe they fought amongst each other and had, like, oh, this is a worthy competitor, but never something that they didn't expect it at all.
No,
and that's what I think is so good.
And, okay, that brings up a great point, because I can hopefully call it before it happens. I really love that there's no magic bullets to shoot Luke Cage. And I hope they don't go that way again, but I'm not even sure what else they would do. I guess maybe they'll just be so awesome or whatever. But the magic bullet thing was really dumb, I thought.
Yeah,
back in the thing.
I was not a big fan of it.
So, but so far so good. They've just acted like they don't exist, and that's what I meant by like they can bring all the characters together, niche them out a little bit, and kind of like correct and drift things into different directions where they didn't make sense or feel good before. Because by the end of Luke Cage, it was just gonna be like, well, every bad guy's just gonna have these bullets, and then Luke Cage is just a dude. Like, that sucks. Like, fuck.
It's not nearly as fun.
Why would you go all the way there in like the first, Anyway.
Let's see where this next episode goes, because I'm thinking it's going to ramp up real hard in this next episode.
We were on like a downturn, so now naturally during this episode, I hope we're going to be swinging up a bit.
All right, guys, so we'll see you next episode. Let us know in the comments below what you think is going to happen, and don't die in a fire.